Okay, let's talk about what to do in a fight where I'm on the bottom from the guard and the guy's punching you. Basically, you want two ranges. One's more preferable than the other. The one you want is real close range, where I hold him so close that he can't hurt me. Bring him in here. Maybe I lock him up in a traditional closed guard. Maybe I lock him up in some kind of rubber guard. But the idea is that I'm holding him close and not letting him hurt me. I'm keeping my head closed. If I leave a space, he's going to smash me with a headbutt. So take this space away by keeping your head close, trying to tie him up some way, like this. And your offensive techniques from here is not much, okay? And this is less preferable, not as preferable as the second option I'm going to give you, but this is when you're going to try to, you've been hurt, or you want to catch your breath, or you need to think, or you need to stall, whatever it is. It's not a place you want to stay, but this is a place where you can hold the guy, just kind of hold him down here. And there are some offensive options from here, especially more from the rubber guard than the standard guard, some submissions and stuff. Striking, of course, I can be hitting him here. I can be hitting him here. Better if I scoot off to the side a little bit. This heel hurts. That can be pretty strong, especially if I get this kind of angle here. That hurts like heck. Okay, especially if you hold him close, start tack, tack, tack. You might not want to stay here. Hit him in the kidneys here. Sorry. This is actually stronger than you think. This chopping down with the ankle, and you got the shots here, and you're kind of snuffling so he can't hurt you. Even if I'm here, so I can still drill him elbows, hold him close. I can go normal plot here and stuff, but that's for another class. The idea right now is I'm more defensively oriented right now for the sake of this class. So I want to hold him close. The other option, he wants to have room to hit me. He wants room for the headbutt. He wants room to back up for the punch. His best area is what we call the middle zone. This is where he can hit me. Yes, I have some submissions here, but he can just plaster me. He's got gravity on his side. This is the worst position for me in terms of defending the punch. Okay, so one thing we want to do to defend the punch is hold him close, like I said. Wrap him up in some way where he's close. Too close to hurt me. Okay, and I can still get some. This isn't knockout blow, but it's pretty irritating for him. Okay, the second thing, if he wants to go to his ideal range, which is the middle range, I want him to overshoot that and go more long range with him. Now I'm pigeon-toed. I love this position for blocking punches. I bring my knees in and I'm pigeon-toed here. That way I can control the distance. He can't come towards me. So if I want to, I can also go to here, this sort of guard here, what Mario calls the MMA guard, or hold his wrist and flare my elbows out. This is good. But as long as I've got my legs now, I can use my leg. When you get good, you can use your leg to stop the bicep there. See? You've got knockout shots from here. Your best shot from here, from being down here, is right there. Boom. Doesn't take much. Right there. Just a little pop on the jaw like that, and it's all over. Okay? So this is better for you. It's better in two ways. Number one, I think it's easier to stop punches from here than it is from here. I think more are going to slip in here than they are about here. Why? Because I got my legs to help stop me. Down here, I'm just kind of holding close, and he can slip punches in. He backs up. Now I can use my legs as an obstruction. I got my own shots. These aren't knockout shots, but they can be annoying, and I do have other knockout shots. I got here. I can slip out to the side. I can tie kick here. I've also got hammer fist here. This is pretty powerful, actually. Probably one of the most powerful blows you can throw. It's from down here and smashing like this. Okay, so I've got my shots. So I've got my legs to help defend me against the punches here a little bit. And I've got better offensive options from here, I think. Okay, so the theme here, and the blocks and stuff are going to be just like you would be in stand-up Muay Thai. You're going to be slapping, you're going to be covering up. If he throws a big punch at me, I might be covering up. If he throws a big punch at me, maybe I'll slip out of the way. Maybe he'll punch the concrete. That wouldn't be too bad. Okay, so but the theme here, the goal is either too close or too far away. Okay, and then you just work from there. Go ahead and work your normal jiu-jitsu from there. Work your normal boxing from here. With the addition of these strikes and some of these heel shots I talked about. Some of these sort of half mid-range tie kicks from here. Okay, that will work too. But you're going to have to develop a feel and sensitivity by monitoring and by touch. You could almost do some of this blindfold. I can feel where his hand's going to go. just from the touch. You got to develop that sensitivity, okay? So what I want you to do is get the guy in your guard. Cody's going to start tapping my face, you know, and you're going to get tapped. You're going to get hit, just boom. Get hit, don't worry about it. Just try to wrap him up. Hang on, you can throw some offensive shots of your own. Watch it. I want you to think about headbutts. Okay, and then when you get the opportunity, push and get some space. Go here and work this more long-range guard. You can go ahead. If you see the opportunity to start using offensive stuff. Okay, you can use sweeps. I can set up in butterfly guard. This is not a bad position when the guy is trying to hit you. The stuff that's not going to work is some of the fancier jiu-jitsu stuff, like these guys that love to play half guard, put their arm under here. Right? I mean, how many times did we see that this weekend? This is crazy. Okay, don't do that. But butterfly guard is realistic. Can't hurt me too much from here. Not going off balance and stuff. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to play. Don't hit hard. Just play. Get good at blocking shots off your back. Okay. Okay, sucking position training number 2. One of the worst possible positions you could be in is being mounted. Okay, so Chad's going to get on top of me. Now look, I don't want to slam too much the traditional escapes. They do work. I can do an UPA and I can do an elbow escape, okay, but I don't think they're ideal. I mean, for example, like, you know, imagine Chad was up here going to hit me, and I go to trap this arm in this foot. Oh, you know what I mean? That doesn't seem like a good scenario to me. And the same thing with the elbow escape. I go here and start pushing on his knee. You know, both of those escapes entail you taking your hands away from your face. And that's just bad, right? So you can use them when they come up, but you almost need different types of setups for them. You know, their effectiveness is diminished, I think, than it would be in regular grappling. So let's talk about some other possibilities. The first thing you can do is just sort of clinch, and it doesn't stop the punishment, but it does reduce the damage, okay? It's simply coming up, and when he's got him mounted here, he's getting ready to start raining blows. Is you're going to hug his waist and pull him down and keeping your head tight against his chest. He's going to start putting a crossface, yes, but in the meantime, I'm not getting hit. If he breaks free from the crossface, you just do it again. So you're kind of in this little, hopefully this loop of clinch, crossface, clinch, you know. And this doesn't get you out. This just buys you a little bit of time to, you know, to not get plastered. Okay, that's the first one. Is just sort of a clinch with your head tight against his belly to buy some time. Let's talk about the second one. The second one breaks. I understand breaks every jiu-jitsu rule. You're never supposed to give the guy a stiff arm because he can always get me an arm lock. Okay, I know that. But knowing what he can do in response to my stiff arm does minimize his chances of getting it. Plus, you should know some arm lock escapes in case you get caught. I'm not saying to expose your arm unnecessarily. This is necessary because you're going to get plastered in the face if you don't. Okay, and so what I recommend here to avoid getting hit, I call this move rock the boat. Let me just do it by myself for a second here. What I want you to do is it's an explosive motion. We'll go to one side and blast. It's a blast and then a quick recock. So you don't leave it out there very long at all. Just instant, just like boom, and get it back. If it doesn't get him off, he'll come back, and then I'm just going to rock the boat the other way and this way. So basically, you got this kind of motion: slam, slam, slam. And what will happen after about 2 times or so, 3 times maybe, he'll either kind of fall off to the side so much that he'll just be able to get up, Or there'll be this little gap here where you can bring your knee in and kind of do like an elbow escape, but without the danger of being hit because his hands and stuff are way over there catching himself, if that makes sense. Okay, so he's up on top of me. What I'm going to do is go slam like this. He turns back and slam. Yeah, this is what happens sometimes. He'll just slam, slam, and sometimes he'll fall off to the side all the way. Sometimes he'll just fall off part way. Come on up a little more. Right here like this. At this point, what I can do is bring a knee between us, almost like an elbow escape. Bring this knee in right here between us. Then I can start working other stuff, pushing away. I've got the heel hook right here and stuff like that, okay? All right, so it's defense number 1, clinch and just don't get hit. Defense number 2 is just rock the boat and make it very difficult for him to hit you. Once you get the knee in, then I'm out of there, see? Okay? That's the second one. The third one is the crab claw move. That's the one where this is one where he raises up to hit me. I'm going to grab a clinch right here, pull him down, and then from this position I put my hands in his armpits and scoot south. Scoot him north, and I scoot myself south. He's going to try to stay up. And at this point, I try to make a hole right here where I can bring my hooks back right in here like this and get out the bottom. I can start working leg locks from here, get the left side, get on top, or whatever. Okay, so that move again. I'll get close, hands in the armpit. You scoot south and scoot him north as much as possible. Hold your hands there so that when I bring my feet back, if you're flexible enough, maybe you can hook 2. I can't really too much on him. I'm not that flexible, but you can hook 2. But all you really need is 1. So if you just want to work one side, that's good right there. And that will give you enough leverage to start pulling yourself out of there. That's your leg lock, and you can start having some fun here. Or you can just get on top. Okay. So we've got the clinch. We've got the rock the boat. We got the crab claw. Last ditch defense is called I call it the Ken Shamrock. It breaks the jiu-jitsu rule again. It's simply the idea here is I'm going to get beat up. Nothing else is working. This is a last ditch thing. What I'm going to do is simply do what you're not supposed to do. I'm going to just sort of blast right here and turn over on my stomach. Is he going to sink in and start working the rear naked choke? Absolutely. But the idea here is simply, I'd rather fight, and given that you're trained in grappling, you know the rear choke escape, right? So he's got his hooks in here. Whenever the rear choke comes, pretend like that's the finger that's pointing. So finger pointing that way or the other one. Yeah, see, pretend like the choking arm points the way for you to get out. What's that? Yes, the other way. This way, see? You just hold on to the choking arm. You're going to bridge up on your feet. Put your back, your shoulder on the floor, then straighten them off. Like this, and just sort of climb up this rope. And that'll be your rear choke escape. So you have to be good with that stuff with this move. But getting back to what I was saying, the idea here is I'd rather fight off a rear naked than getting punched in the face. Okay? In other words, I'm more confident, given that you've practiced your moves and you can defend yourself when the guy's on your back. I'm more confident of getting out of that and not getting hurt than I am dealing with this. Imagine somebody big on top of you. I'd rather fight off their choke than eat this punch. Okay, so it's the lesser of two evils. Even though it's technically incorrect, you don't want to put yourself in a position to be choked. It's still better than where you were. So if nothing else is working, you try the clinch. He peels me off, blasts my face. Crap, that didn't work. I try rocking the boat, pushing, he comes back, pushing. Oh crap, that didn't work. I got blasted again. I tried the crab claw. Oh, that didn't work. You're going to really get hurt unless you do something. Heck, man, I might as well try to fight off the rear naked because I'm not winning against the punch. Puts on the rear naked choke. Yes. Now maybe I have a better chance here. Yeah, now we're a little more even Steven, see? This is a lot better than getting punched. So you got those 4 basic defenses. That's my theory behind that. And you got to use them in combination. And if in that mix you see the normal UPA escape or the normal elbow escape, fine. But I like to base my escapes when the guy's hitting off that sort of structure right there. So sucky position training. Your partner just lays down, put your gloves on or whatever, and you practice just going to town on it. You got your elbows and punches and headbutts. You got a lot of nasty weapons. He's got to try to get out. Okay? We'll go for a few rounds. All right, let's go. There? Is it up around?
Hold it perfect for it.
All right, guys, let's talk. I want to talk some more about hitting on the ground. Just because it's so neglected a lot, and I think there's some, even though it's kind of obvious on what you can do, still there are a lot of, just with a little bit of, you know, intellectual prodding, you can come up with your own stuff too. But this will hopefully give you some good ideas. Let's talk about striking from the side mount, the cross mount position, both whether you're being defensive and when you're being offensive. Let me just talk about offensive first. When you're holding the side mount, you guys know the various ways to hold. You know, I can pinch him with my knees and elbows. That's fine. I could also put this hand over by the hip. You know, these are just different ways to hold. This hand by his hip keeps him from putting me in the guard. I also like, my favorite though is going under his head like this and putting my shoulder here and then going under this arm. I like this one a lot. It just seems to take away a lot of his escapes and just gives me a better hold. Hold doesn't mean it's necessarily best for striking though. You know, holding and striking are sometimes what's good for holding is not good for striking and vice versa because you need room, you know, and you need a hand free. So obviously they might conflict sometimes, but nevertheless I like this for holding. This is actually a pretty good way to hold though if you want to get in the good old headbutt with a street fight or something, because you can just nail this thing all day long. He may put his hand up there to defend, but you know, you can go for the figure four Americana lock or something. But this is actually a good way to hold, and you can at least get a headbutt out of here. Obviously, you know, the strikes from here are going to be pretty basic with elbows, with punch or hammer fist, although it's not the best hammer fist in the world. It's almost like a sissy hammer fist, but it still probably wouldn't feel too good, you know. And then, of course, a big one here is the knee strike, or knee here. Knee's actually better, guys, when you're north-south. Now, here's the thing on the knee strike. Sometimes you see guys just do this. That's not a good way to do the knee strike, just kind of from the floor like this. What you want to do is bring one leg up real high, and when you drop it, you kind of, I can't really do it on him because I don't want to hit him, but you bring your leg up high and then thrust your hip forward, just like you would, you know, doing Muay Thai standing up. Bring your leg up like this, boom, and boom. It's really good for north-south here because it's hard for him to defend that. I mean, you got these knees just raining down on the top of his head, and it's very difficult to defend, okay? So, but nothing too fancy here as far as striking goes from the cross mount position. Let's talk about defense though. So let me get on the bottom. Okay. When I'm on the bottom, it's kind of like the principle I was talking about the other day. Same thing from the guard. But what I want is him, you don't want him to get a good shot where he can just tee off on your head. So I don't want, if he's going to hit me, I want it to be sort of close. You know, try to make him like those little punches like this and stuff like that. That's fine. I don't want him though to be able to sort of raise up and really boom, smash down hard. So I want him to stay close, where I sort of muffle a lot of the strikes here. So I hold him close. If I've got my hand out here, it's not actually not a very good spot right here. He's got the grappling attacks. It's better if I can go onto this arm like this. And I'm blocking him out. I'm sort of holding him close like this. I'm actually squeezing down with my arms, and I keep my head up and tight here, and try not to give him any room to hit. I've got this defense here. Another version is I could just simply be down like a boxer down here by my face like this. I'm blocking them out, and I'm trying to muffle a lot of the strikes. Okay, that's when he's tight. If he really wants to wail on me, he's going to want to create a little bit of space. When that happens, I want to make him go the opposite extreme. So when he raises up a little bit, I want to overcompensate, push, and then try to get him in the guard. So too far away. So the idea here is to have him too close. Let me get this here. Either have him too close to do much damage, or if he tries to raise up, you know, too far away. Too close or too far away. Okay? And the too close part, again, you can have this arm under here, or it could be like a boxer here. And everything is sort of muffled. All of his strikes are muffled. He's going to be sneaking some in. Nobody's so good you know, right here where I can just sort of kung fu everything and just simply block all of his punches and stuff like that. He's going to be sneaking some in, but hopefully it's too tight here where he doesn't have enough room to cause a lot of damage. He's going to want to get away to get some space, and that's when I sort of create some room there where I can go back to the guard. I'm a lot safer. Okay, so too close and too far away there is the key. Now all I want you to do is simply have your partner lay on the ground, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to practice. When we get here, we're going to say go, and I'm just going to, so I'm going to start. Yeah, see, he's too close. I don't feel like I can hurt him very hard. I want some space, then put it away, and we'll stop and we'll go back. So we're working on, this is what I like to call sucky position training. He's in a sucky position, and he's working just from that spot. He's got to stay in that spot for the whole 3-minute round or whatever. In the meantime, I can use my gloves if I want to. MMA gloves or bag gloves, it doesn't matter. And I'm trying to rough him up a little bit. And if he gets away, I'm just going back again. I might switch sides. Okay, watch the headbutt. Look, if there's space, I can headbutt. If he keeps his head tight, see, I don't have much. If he's lazy and just sort of like he's taking a nap down there, oh man, slam, he's going to get the worst of it. So stay tight. Never muffle. It's either too close, or if I want to get some space to try to nail him, he exaggerates it and too far away. That's the drill, okay? Try to tap your partner and try to defend, okay? All right. I'm going to cover some striking from the guard, some ground and pound from the guard, just to make, it's just good for conditioning, it's good for getting used to the weapons that you have available to you here. Obviously you got the punch. These type heads are good for practicing this. Just don't miss, his head's right in the middle. He can't really do this very well, okay? So you can hold the pads from here. I'm in the guard. He can give me some leg energy. You know what I mean? He can squeeze me sometimes. Sometimes he can open it up a little bit. Sometimes he can pigeon toe his knees. Yeah. Give me some leg energy that I have to swim around, to work my way around every once in a while. And then I'm looking for my strikes. Obviously I got right, left hook, left jab in the right hand here. Don't forget your elbows. It's really good from here. Drop the elbow down like this, with just like in Muay Thai, with the horizontal elbow, okay? But also, this is a great time to use your spike elbow. No one ever does this. Spike elbow is great from here. Look at this. And that's devastating, right? His face is just on that horizontal plane that you need. Where there's not as many opportunities for this standing up, there's a lot of opportunity where you're in the guy's guard. I mean, I don't even think that would feel very good. You'd probably break his sternum. That would hurt. Okay, so you can go on either side with your punches. You got this horizontal elbow, the spike elbow, okay? Don't forget, if you're close like this, always got to practice the headbutts, okay? On the headbutt, make sure you headbutt with the top of your head. I don't want to headbutt Cody like this. I headbutt myself, right? So I want to headbutt with the top of my head on the pad, like this, all right? So the idea of this drill is that he's giving me energy, leg energy, just like he would if you were trying to defend himself. I'm trying to deal with this energy, land the big shots. I can stay close like this, work my headbutts and my shots. He can push me away. I'm working this long range stuff, so sometimes I gotta take care of this to land this, okay? That's what we're going to do the whole round. So basically you're fighting the legs, the obstruction of the legs, and trying to get close to land a punch, an elbow, a headbutt. Okay? And we're going to go some rounds on this. All right. Okay, I want to add on to your arsenal here ways to hurt this guy on the bottom when you're in his guard. All right? But, you know, and there could be a lot of reasons why you want to do this. Maybe he's a good jiu-jitsu guy, and you could get hurt trying to pass his guard, you know? If he's really good at sweeping and submissions and stuff, you might just want to make it as a non-jiu-jitsu game as possible. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to do all the jiu-jitsu stuff and pass his guard, if he's better at jiu-jitsu than you want to make it as totally non-jiu-jitsu as possible. So here's some other ways to strike. Obviously, we just talked about the punches, straight punches. You got elbow, straight elbow. We got spike elbow that we covered before. We got headbutt. You got headbutt from the front. You got headbutt from the side too. Look, if I was down here, I could control his biceps. That way now Cody can't hit me because I'm controlling his biceps. But guess what? Slam. You know, he could eat that headbutt all day long. Okay. So this is a good position of control right here where you control his biceps. You don't have a punch either unless you just want to let that go. But that ain't that great. This is much better. Slam. Okay? So you got this position here. Also, you've got this one. This is not a knockout shot, but it's very annoying. Is take your elbow here and spike elbow right here. Over and over again. Especially if he's got closed guard. You can cause all kinds of damage here. Sometimes guys will bring a knee across, you know, to push you away or try to sweep. So you can also take this shot right here. That feels pretty good. Okay? Also, I can stand up. I can control a leg. Look at this shot. There's my tie kick right there on the thigh. This one over here. Same thing over here. Okay, so you can push it up, take a tie kick. Watch out for his pedal kick. That's his most awesome weapon. So if you're grounding and pounding the guy and he's in the guard, this is his easiest way to knock you out. He can do this, you know, 33% and you're gone. Okay. So when you don't get so excited or worry about you're going to hit him, all he's got to do is touch your face with his foot and you're gone. Okay. So be careful about that. So in close here, first one I told you, control the biceps, headbutt smash. Okay. You've also got elbow the thigh. Elbow the thigh. If he breaks open guard here, you can elbow the thigh here. You can also stand up, tie kick his thigh. Hard to do with a pad, you know, but just tap him slightly. Just tap him gently here. Also down on the ground, you got your hammer fist. You can hammer fist straight down. I'm going to go on the pad, straight down with hammer fist. Also sideways, guys. This is very powerful. So I hit here, so I got this one. Hold this pad up, Cody. Like this. This way. This is a knockout blow. See my body weight? Pretty hard, either side. Don't miss. Okay, so you got hammer fist, not just straight down. That's probably not going to knock anybody out. This is bigger. Oh, this is a lot bigger. Oh, okay. Let's play with those weapons. One more. Need some pads on. One more thing, guys. I wanted to show you one more trap. First trap I showed you was with hands on the biceps. This is great, you know, to just explode down with headbutts. Okay. Definitely this is good. Sometimes he's got his hands up defending here. Sometimes you can just simply cross them over the other. See the top like this? Boom. So actually, you're not going to hold it very long. It's like this. It's probably long enough to get one shot in. This is all you need, especially if you land right on the button. See what I'm saying? Slow-mo, just he's up like this. You know, you're in here. Just in an explosive motion, pull one hand across and the other hand on top of it. That's probably long enough to land a shot or two. And maybe all you need. Okay, so one more time is the crossover. Starting here from a stand, in his guard rather, right here. Just get control of the wrist, explode and pull one across, and then immediately overlap the other one on the top. Just put your weight on it. You can go here, you can hammer fist. Okay, that's one trap I want to show you. Now let's talk about some more ways to attack. More tools. We got the punches, we got the hammer fist, we got elbows. We got headbutts, we got elbow to the thigh, we got tie kick to the thigh. Another good way to try to trap the guy up is simply do this. I can stand up in this guard and walk forward right here. You can hold on to his head. Watch out for arm lock, but it's kind of hard for him to arm lock right here, especially when I'm going just like this. So I've got a little bit of a stack going on right here, and I can drive this punch down. Okay, that's the first one. The next one, I can be back here. Don't forget this. You've got a pedal kick of your own. Look at this, right up the middle. Boom! Right up the middle, just like this. If it were a street fight, I could be a little bit nastier with it. Right, but just right up the middle like that. Okay. We got it here. He's thinking, well, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy and I'm going to pass his guard. Nope. Pow! Straight through the middle, just like that, with that strong. One more option you got. If you can clear some space with this leg, look at this shot. Round kick. Round kick. Just clear a little bit of space. Right here. Bang. Okay. So the three I want you to add to your arsenal. Simply start right here. Stack and punch straight down from right here. High up here. Punch straight down. Okay. That's the first one. Second one. Get an ankle control. Like you're going to pass his guard instead. Boom. Stomp right up the middle. Third one. Come around the side. Round kick. Okay? Add all that in. show you a ground and pound position for when you're in the guy's guard, a way to sort of tie up his arm a little bit and get it so it's stuck and you can get some free shots in. What I'm going to do is when I'm in his guard, some kind of way, I got to get control of a wrist. Maybe I just grab it and push it down. Maybe he was reaching for grabbing for a kimura or something, and I can circle out of it and grab it. But somehow I get a hold of his wrist and I put it on the floor. Take your other hand, like this, on the floor as well. Hop up, so see his butt comes off the ground a little bit. Now it's hard for, maybe if he's strong, I can't really pull his hand in, so I can just keep it pinned there. But what I can do is, as I raise this up, see his butt come off the ground, I can walk to him. And once I walk to him, see, I can pass this behind his back. Now what I've got is I've got a grip here on his wrist. Now when I lay back down, he's pretty stuck. This is an uncomfortable position for him. His arm's behind his back. He can put his other hand up there, but there are two targets here, right? And the hand is quicker than the eye. So if he blocks his face, I can get his gut, and vice versa here. And plus, this is a little bit uncomfortable. It's hard for him to get his hand back. He can, but the arm is in kind of a weak position here. So again, one more time. So we're on the ground, I'm fighting, not having any luck. I got to get control of a wrist. Pin it to the floor. Hop up so his butt comes off the ground. This is assuming that he's got a closed guard. Okay, because that's how you can pull this bottom off the ground. So I'm going to come up here and then just sort of walk towards this pinned wrist. Walk here. Then when you're ready, you're going to just kind of take this hand and come behind his back and feed this hand to it. Like that. You can go ahead and lay back down. He's kind of laying on it here. I can pull, make him uncomfortable, and I can just start punching him. I'll probably get 10, 20 shots before he gets his hand back. Okay? One more time. Go this way here. So here, I get control of a wrist, shove it to the floor. How you get the control of the wrist, it just varies, but you may just be right here or something. You just grab it and shove it down. Hop up, walk, so his butt's floating in the air, and then walk over to this pinned hand, make the switch, lay back down. Nice, good. Ground and pound position with his arm stuck behind his back, like this. Okay. We're going to work on strikes from the bottom. This is not the best place to strike from, obviously. You don't have a whole lot of power here in most of your techniques. You do have power in some techniques, we'll talk about in a second, but you don't have a lot of power in most of your techniques. Yeah, when you're on the bottom here, I don't want someone like Sweet in this sort of middle range, because this is his best range to just plaster me. I either want him close, real close, so he can't hurt me, or if he wants to back up, fine, I want him real far away. So it's either too close or too far away, but never just sort of sit here and try to block punches from here if you can help it, and try to throw submissions from here. You're going to get plastered, okay? So if he's close, we've talked about this many times. I've got some shots, I can rip some shots here. I got this heel shot here, which kind of hurts, doesn't it, Sweet? Yeah, I got some shots here. I got elbows and smashes and stuff like that. Not the best shots. This is the least preferable of the two options, the close option. Try to make this middle range not an option at all. This is better than that, but the best option is too far away. When I've got my legs in here, now when Sweet tries to hit me, it's hard for him to reach me. I can put my foot up here on his bicep and stuff. And I have the best option, in my opinion, here of blocking his shots, either with my legs like this. Sometimes I go pigeon-toed. Sometimes I hold his wrist and flare my knees out. I got the best option here of blocking his shots that I do when he's close and all that other junk. Okay? So try to get, boom, this range where you're here. And this is where you can do some shots from here, from the bottom. But not the best, not as good as if you were standing up, but it's better than nothing. It can set up other things. So I do have a punch from here. If you want to hold this mid up, you got to kind of do this sit up. Too bad, huh? Good, went down the chain, was it?
It would hurt.
All right. So you can do a sit up. You got to, you got to kind of twist your body. The problem is you don't have your leg to push off on the ground, so it ain't like kickboxing or something. But you can do damage with the right hand or an elbow. But your best weapons down here are your legs. Your legs. Oh, let me cover one more thing. So you got a straight punch either side. You got elbow. You've also got this one. Hold me up for a hook over here. This shot here. This hammer fist is actually, I think, your hardest punch. like this. I can start here blocking my face. If I got some distance here, just like this. Other side, you got to turn your body. If it's like this, back fist, that's no good. It's got to be body weight. Like that. But your best weapons are your feet. This foot stomp here. Boom on the chin. Even the little one, you can put him out right on the chin. So if he wants to hold it up, like hold that target, yeah. Second foot stomp. That's your best move. It only takes, I think probably just, 33% power right there or something. You can knock somebody out. It's very powerful. So you got foot stomp, and you've got half, 33% of a tie kick. If he holds the pads over here, and if I got some space, see, I've got a little bit of a tie kick here. No, it's not my best one again, but it might be enough. Might be enough. Maybe it won't knock him out, but stun him so I can get on top of something. Use something else. Okay, so the idea down here is I want you, your partner's going to help you out. If he comes close, push him away, go pigeon-toed, and he's going to just start giving me targets. We give you a tie kick over here. Tie kick. Again. Sorry. Okay. Okay. You give me elbow. And then just keep going. And you're going to see that the sitting up, trying to sit up real hard and punch hard, is a heck of an ab burner. Okay? So practice loading power shots from this sort of long range guard here. Okay? Alright. Just a couple more things for you to think about when you're on the bottom. If, look, like I was saying, these hand techniques are probably not going to be your knockout weapon. If you can set this hammer fist one up, like if I can get some distance here, I can cover my face and maybe lay into that one might be, boom, this one might have enough power, especially if you just kind of turn your body weight into it. See, I'm just kind of shifting my elbows. Some of you guys are still doing this. It's not a tricep snap. Hold that one up. It's not, you gotta like pretend like you're going boom and then coming over here on this elbow and then this elbow. Yeah, so that's just better. Okay, so if you can set that up, from the guard, if you can set that up and smash it here, then you might do something, you know what I mean, with this one. These other ones, like the straight on punch and stuff, that's probably, not going to knock him out. Could stun him. You could stun him with this long enough to set up one of the knockout blows, which is the stomp to the face, or perhaps the mid-range, half tie kick. That might have enough power to do that. I think you could knock someone out with that. Okay? There's some other things to think about. The stomp, it doesn't have to be the face. If he's blocking his face, look at the solar plexus is fantastic. Look at that shot. Don't get head happy here. If I can't get Sweet's face, and you can get some distance. This stomp, put the heel. Everybody knows what the solar plexus is. Just go about an inch down from your sternum there, right there. If you can drive your heel right there, that is harder than any body shot in boxing or anything. Especially by surprise. So drive that heel. Don't put the toes. I would go heel. Wham, right there. It's a hell of a body shot. Also, street fighting, you've also got the groin shot. You got to watch out for your own. But especially if your guy, I could do it from here, I could stomp from here. Or if my guy stands up in my guard, yeah, then I've definitely got this stomping groin shot right here. Boom. Okay, you actually, if you want to pop that hand too. Then you've got this one too. Yeah. Okay. Even from butterfly guard, he was on his knees. Even from butterfly guard, you might get a little pop there. Hear that? I'm not doing it on the real spot, okay? But you get a little pop there from the butterfly guard. That might not feel too good. Give him the target, okay? So let's go back. Let's do another round again. Another sequence, all right? Striking from the bottom, Dave. We're going to change apparatus, all right? Unless this has been boxing, this is called a punching shield. And here, for our purposes, I call this the ground and pound shield. Okay, it's actually pretty good. Maybe a little bit better than a tie pad. Just a little bit different feel. A little bit easier to feed in some ways. So I'm down here. I'm in Sweet's guard. I got this shot. I can put right here in my chest. Sweet can unload. Yeah, as long as he doesn't drive my heart, you know, give me a little, make me have a heart attack. Go. Yeah, he can load. See the different feel? You see what I mean? And look at this. There's the high kick. Again. Probably should wear a mouthpiece when you do this.
Kicks him, kicks him.
In case somebody misses. Kick. Like sweet. Give me a stomp right here. Stomp. Again. Yeah, if I stand up, he can stomp it here. Yes, go. Kick. Like it. Stomp. Punch. Yeah, punch. Hook punch over here. Hook punch. Yeah, come around. Oh, yeah. Good again. Push again. Now give me a hammer fist from over there. Other way. Again. This side over here. Hook punch over there. Kick over here. Kick over here. There you go. Stomp. Oh yeah. Stomp. Punch. See? This has a solid feel to it. Probably the best thing you can use on the ground. Wear the guy out.
It's a good workout too.
Okay, you see how I'm feeding, all right? Just sometimes you're low, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're sideways. You got to know the tools. You got to be a good feeder. I got to know what he can do. You know, I got to know he can throw straights, he can throw hooks, he can throw tie kicks, he can throw stomps, and I got to put in enough variety of targets so he gets to use all of his tools. All right, so let's grab a grounding pound pad. We don't have quite enough, so we got a shield over there to make up for it. Well, we got. Okay, here go. Okay, all right.
Go.
Okay, look, we're going to talk about how to hit somebody when you're in a mount. It seems kind of obvious, but it's actually not as easy as it happens to appear. A lot of times you see guys get here, even people who should know better, and they just start going crazy. And if you were to look in slow-mo, they miss 50 to 75% of the time. A miss in the street can be kind of bad. Can you imagine if we're on the sidewalk and I punch Eric as hard as I can in his head and I miss? That would not be a good way to, not a good way to miss when you're punching concrete down here. So, first thing you want to do is be patient. Number one, when you get up here and you start and you're going to hit, just be patient. Second thing you want to do, you should try to watch out for the buck, because if he's bucking me around, it's hard for me to get any lift. I'm catching myself and having to come back here. He lifts his hips up, and I got to catch myself. It's hard for me to get a good punch off. So if you can, try to scoot up on his chest. Now when he bucks, it's not that big of a deal, and now I can have some more fun. Okay, I don't get bucked around so much. So that's another principle. So the first principle is be patient. Second thing is to try to scoot up if you can to avoid the buck. Another thing you can do is the various arm tie-ups. And I know some of you guys have seen this before. Some haven't, so I'm just going to review them. But the natural reflex here for him is to cover up. If I can just come across the side over here and just pat this arm and lay down on it, you can see how it gets stuck right there. So if I'm punching him like this, and he covers up. So I can come around to one side. I put my body weight, because he might be strong, too strong for me just to put his arm across like this. So I kind of pat and lay on it. Once I lay on it, I can go behind his head and grab his wrist here, pull it like this. I like to put my knee up right here just to kind of confirm that grip right there. And obviously this is a very good punching position for me. He has his hand to defend, but he can't do it all. You see, if I want to, see, I can now even take that out of play now. See, so let's watch that again. He covers up. You need to get this arm pinned over there. How you're going to do it is use your body weight. Just come off to the one side a little bit as you kind of break this center plane with your palm a little bit, and then fall on it. Go behind his head like you're going to put him in a headlock, but just grab his wrist. So go behind his head, grab his wrist, and then pull it pretty tight like this. You can put this knee up here, right here. This is not much of a defense, right? And if you're worried about it, you can kneel on top of it. I suppose you could just do something like that, This is pretty good. So that's the first one, is the arm, his arm across his face, you grabbing his wrist. Another one you can do is simply from right here from a headlock, you can just simply step up like this and pull this hand like that. This position here like this. You can move around, but I've got pretty good shots here. See this? So from here, from right here, especially if he's like holding on to me a little bit, yeah, I can step up like this. I can start punching him here. He goes to defend his face. There's that wrist grab right there. Just strong. Okay? So this time I'm going sort of from behind his head and pulling his head up with his arm like that. Pulling his head off the ground into this. Okay, that's another one. Okay. The third one, you have to be careful. I'm punching like this and he's covering up. I want to remove his hands from in front of his face, so I take one hand right here. I'm going to choke his throat like this. Usually he's going to take his hands down and take that off. That leaves this open. Okay. So cover up, put a hand on the throat. Yes. Boom. Just be ready for it. He can do the Upa escape if I'm slow on this. He can trap my arm and trap my leg and bump me off. But you're ready with the big bomb, right? So as soon as I cover his face, as soon as those hands go down, bam, he's going to eat that one hard. Or the elbow. Okay? All right, so what I want you to do is start up again. We're going to get the cardio going again. No pads this time. We're just going to throw some garbage here. Take down. Climb on top. Yeah. And get one of those positions. Let him up. And I'll do it again. Here. Take down. Climb on top. Do one of those moves. Okay. All right. So we got the mount position stuff. Equally important is knee on the stomach for the mount, or wherever you're going to get it. I'm just going to put my knee over here in his belly. I'll put on the pad right now to spare Eric some pressure while I'm talking. I put my knee on his belly. I got the ball of the foot on the floor, other leg out. In real life, if I was really fighting, I would take this foot off the floor and put all my weight on him. But I'm being nice right now, so I'm putting the ball of the foot on the floor. You see on the other side, ball of the foot on the floor, leg out. In real life, put more pressure. Okay? All right, this is a great position to strike from, guys. Put this pad on your chest here. It's a great position to strike from here. Obviously, you got punches. The opposite hand punch is clearly right there, okay? So I've got this shot on my opponent here. You got elbows, of course. Let me tell you, though, what I think are the two best shots from this position. One is what I call the Thor's hammer. And all it is a great big hammer fist from here. I think it's one of the hardest punches maybe that you can throw, at least certainly from this position. I'm going to start here. Instead of punching, look at my fist. Instead of punching from right here, which is pretty good, I'm going to take this hammer fist and chop down, use my body weight. Like that. How you think? Huh? I think it's pretty strong. Look, not like this. What is that? That's just tricep.
A little tap.
It has to be body weight. So I got my knee in the stomach here. Let me get someone bigger. Your belly so. Come here. Thanks. Get it bigger. I need some more meat down there to kneel on. Put this ground. That's better. Put the ground and pound pad in his chest. I'm starting here, and actually, I get a little bit more velocity when there's not even a pad there. If you're using another target like a dummy, you can really feel what I'm talking about. I'm starting here. Thor's hammer, just bring it way back. You can wind up on this and smash down. Drop your body weight. That's the first one of the most powerful strikes you can throw. The second one is simply coming up like this, hopping up for a second, and tie kick right here. Boom. And then back down again. All right? It's hard to practice, It's hard for him to hold the pad right, Isn't it? Yeah, I could maybe do that, but not much, right? I might as well just fake it. He doesn't really have much of a target for me to hit. So, but anyway, from right here, I just hop up, boom, tie kick, and then back down again, boom. So you've got punches, hammer fist, tie kick, back down, okay? And then you have to be mobile. So you can put your hands on his chest and watch, hop up to the other side. Now you're over here. Hammer fist, tie kick, boom, 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 punch. Hop over. Okay? That's the drill for 3 minutes. Pound, 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 kick, down, hop over, pound, pound, hammer fist, elbow, hop over, kick, etc., for 3 minutes. That was a good Thor's hammer. Okay, here's what I want you guys to do. Sweet's just going to stand there, just like this. He's just going to be my tackling dummy. I'm going to start here. I'm going to start in my stance. I'm going to level change. I'm going to keep my elbows in, level change, get some penetration with this step here, and watch how I hug his legs. This other leg slides. I like to do it this way, guys. Slide this leg up. So this back leg slides up and hooks. There's my double leg. Boom. Okay. That's the double leg. So that's the first half of it. So I'll go on the other side. My bad side, but so that you can see over there. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to get this penetration. Get my level change here. This comes in here. Hug. Look at this back leg. Hook. I like that so he can't sprawl. So I take him down with my double leg. Sweet's going to be nice. Let me just climb right to a mount. Yeah, hold it right there in his chest. We've got this agreement where I'm not going to miss and he's not going to move it. Woo! Yeah. Come here.
Don't miss.
Give him 2 shots and then get back up again. And I'm going to shoot again. So it's shoot, the double leg, take 2 shots, get back up. So it's a little bit of cardio because it's down, up, down, up, down, up for both guys. All right, let me go this way, Sweet. Right here's good. So right here. Okay, so I'm going to bend here. Here's my shot. Boom. Make sure you get that level change and penetrate in. I like to hook here. Take him down. Climb up to a mount. 2 shots, get back up again. I take my shot. Like that. Here. Over and over. Down and up, down and up. All right. For 3 minutes.
This.
Good, good.